Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I love how you were not prepared. You had to like come back in and grab your mic. You're like, oh shit.
And you're the one who gave the thumbs up go ahead.
I know. I'm some struggle bus this morning.
So I have had such an insane week that I have not even been on social media. And you guys...
I can't believe this because we were all, first of all, we were all together last weekend for Christina's bachelorette weekend. It was so much fun. We went to wine country.
We drank all of the wine.
All of the wine.
There's no more left. No. So just if
None
you have
for
a
you.
trip,
skip it.
cancel it because we drank all of the wine.
I believe that we did. Oh my God. Our hotel was over us. It was a mess. The lady at the front desk yelled at us how many times about like being quiet. It's like, ma'am, it's not even 9 o'clock. Like, chill out.
Yeah, but it's sleepy time up in that area. Like, wine country is not
Then have a
Palm
curfew,
Springs.
9.
It is like, it is not Palm Springs. It
It's
is
true.
like
We did treat it a little Palm
sleepy
Springsy.
time. We sure did, because the first night we went to a place called Cali Love. Shout out Cali Love.
Oh my God.
Oh, that
in
place was
Solvang.
amazing.
It was so fun.
Shambongs.
We had shambongs. I will say though, like, that place is not meant for what we were using it for. Like, we were like, it's a club. We were using it like it's a fucking club. And it was like,
it's a tasting room.
Tiny tasting room. Like, they're like, just because we have like bumping music and a neon sign does not mean that like you guys can use this like a fucking club. But we did. We sure did. It was a
We
good time.
did. And we thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It was fun.
Times were had. But
Have I drank
times
since?
were had.
Have I drank since? No.
This
I
is
have
my
not.
first beer. I'm literally opened my first beer since we got back.
Yeah, I'm on a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
now.
take a little rusty.
I'm good. You know, I've had plenty. I think for the rest of the year. But
Wild.
that while we were away on that weekend, the news came down and we talked about it. That's why I'm like, I'm so surprised that you don't know about this,
I was definitely in my...
because there was a rumor that came down while we were in wine country that said that Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner were getting divorced. And we were like, it's just a rumor, because like all the stuff was basically saying like, oh, he's taking care of the kids while he's on tour because she's shooting somewhere, which I'm like, okay, they're his kids.
yeah.
yeah.
So like...
What's the big deal?
Right.
So I was just
And?
like, oh, it's just rumors. Like, that's silly, you know? But it has been confirmed. They released a statement
Holy shit.
together.
Well, no, here's the they haven't released a statement together. She's released a statement.
Oh.
And he has released, like, TMZ reports that she's out partying all the time. Like, it's so...
No, they
like,
released a joint one that said,
Oh, really?
after 4 wonderful years together, married together, we have decided to, because of all the speculation, because there was so much speculation. They said, we know there's a lot of speculation out there, but really this was just a united decision to end our marriage.
Wow.
I had heard that only she released that after all the rumors and stuff like that, and that he didn't share it. So
I don't know. I heard that it was from both their people, but like there's so much speculation.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, which it's been very interesting.
Yeah. They're both kind of
See.
young. I mean, they're not like...
Well, she's 27 and he's 7 years older than that.
Okay, she's kind of young.
Yeah. But they got married, or he proposed when she was 21. I think.
Yeah, that's...
So.
That's, I mean, that's
wasn't
young.
He
That's
also, I did also see that he was pursuing Gigi Hadid when she was 13 and he was like 17.
Oh, okay.
Is that confirmed though?
Well, 13 and 17.
No,
I
that's
don't like
too young.
it. No.
That's too young.
13 is...
At 17, I would not have been looking at a 13-year-old.
13 is... No.
Yeah. So I got, and also like the thing that I've seen on social media that like a lot of people are pushing back is this whole like, oh, she's out partying all the time, when there's like definitely receipts of her like in interviews, like him admitting like she's the homebody. She's the homebody.
Right, there are pictures of her dancing, like out dancing, but it's
dancing.
Like
How dare she?
Right, and she's like dancing with her co-stars all went out together. Oh, and I'm like, what's the big fucking deal?
Right.
Like she's just having a good time. She's a 27-year-old having a good time away from her kids.
You cannot, in the summer of fucking the holy trinity of Beyonce, Barbie, and Taylor Swift,
You can't.
try to come at us with this unfit mother narrative.
I swear to God.
No.
We're not having it.
No.
Well, and it's just like, are we going to
give...
give...
Kiki
No, Kiki Palmer, Miss Kiki Palmer.
No.
Like, and I'm sorry, Joe Jonas does not get a gold fucking star
for being a dad,
taking care of his own kids.
No,
because it's like they're both working. It's not like she's just like off fucking around, you know, and like bye. You know, she's working, he's working, and he's taking care of the kids.
I'm sorry, any person who's ever been to a conference for work has been out dancing. Where were your kids? Probably with your other spouse or with someone.
No, but
I mean, like,
you've told this story before. It's always the fucking women that get asked, like, "Oh, who's taking care of your kids?"
Right.
It's never. No one ever asked the dads.
Yeah, nobody would have been blinking an eye if Sophie had taken the kids with her to go shoot overseas.
Yeah.
Right. And like brought the nanny and took the kids. Nobody would be like, Joe is such a bad dad to let her manage her job and the kids at the same time.
Right.
Like nobody would ever do that. That's crazy.
Insane.
And then the amount of like people in the comments, just like, it's not I understand because we talk a lot of like celebrity gossip on this show, but like the number of people who feel entitled to know, like, well, you have to tell us what happened.
What happened?
You have to tell us what went wrong. And it's like, they don't.
No, they don't.
Like they could because they're public figures, but they don't owe you.
No.
Jane from fucking Idaho. Like they don't owe you an explanation.
Wait, we just lost Jane as a listener. So thanks.
No.
Great.
Thanks.
Great. Now we're going to get a review. How dare you call me out?
I mean, love is dead, and the other thing is, you can't disrespect the Queen of the North.
No,
you know?
never.
They did seem they seemed very cute.
Yeah,
sure.
So
You know,
but you're young.
Yeah, honestly, she was baby when they met. I mean, that's just.
Yeah. Well, they've been together since she was 20, I think, and then got engaged when she was 21.
There's so much life that happens between 21 and 27. Honestly, I know that sounds really silly, but there's so much life that happens between the age of 20 and 30. It's just, you're just not even the same person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and a lot of people want to have opinions about other people's relationships, like because they put out that statement where they're like, after 4 wonderful years, the number of comments that are like, if it's so wonderful, why are you getting divorced? Where it's just like, it could be any number of things. Dude. You have no clue like what is going on in that relationship.
Sometimes people, just grow apart. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a like fucking scandal or anything.
I think it's actually probably more rare that people grow together. To be quite honest, to have a couple that paces alongside each other in their growth is, I mean, like, listen, I do feel like that's been how Chris and I have been. And I feel incredibly fortunate because I do not think that is normal or common. I don't know if it's not quote normal, whatever, but I mean, what's normal?
I think it's hard. I think it's really difficult for that to happen. And also, these people are living lives that we can't understand either. Like,
the scrutiny.
It's not a normal
truly
relationship.
No.
It's not, they're not leading normal lives, quote unquote, normal lives. And it might be normal for them. I mean, Joe Jonas has been famous forever. Sophie Turner has been famous forever.
Right.
Because she was on Game of Thrones so young. So maybe it's normal for them, but like that kind of always traveling, always working, always being in the public eye. Plus you have kids. Everybody has an opinion about your relationship. Everybody's watching you closely.
It's kind of like growing up in a small town. You know what I mean? Except that your small town is everyone, the world. You know what I mean? Like you have that constant like, ugh, so-and-so saw me do this. My mom's going to find out. But it's like you're living that life on like such a massive scale.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Unfathomable.
The memes though are fucking.
Well, the internet be interneting. That's for sure. Always.
I mean, like TMZ reports that the separation was caused because Sophie bought chairs where Joe's feet wouldn't touch the floor.
Oh my God.
Fucking sauvage, dude.
Woof.
Sauvage.
Hilarious.
Come on.
Hilarious.
We love a short king. But yeah, a lot of people too are saying like he is giving Tom Sandoval vibes.
Oh.
And I'm like, ooh, you don't want to be compared to that.
You do not. You keep away from that shit. Oh my God.
But they're putting them side by side and I'm like,
why would they do that to Joe? That's mean.
That's cruel. That man
Listen.
is off his fucking rocker.
Tom Sandoval.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, the way that he is trying so desperately to look young and he just looks older. It's so
Well,
desperate.
that's what
and
happens.
sad.
I feel like when you cling too hard to youth, it has like the opposite effect.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like when you cling too hard, it's just like,
I
now you
see
look,
it. I
now
see
you look
through
a
it.
million.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
gotta stop. You gotta stop. And I love that he is still like doing, he's still with his band. Like I still see his videos coming up on TikTok where I'm like, I cannot imagine living my life with so little self-awareness.
Oh.
Like, can you? Where I'm just like, if I
I
saw
have the opposite problem.
yeah, exactly.
Too much.
Yeah.
If I saw one video of me singing Stacy's Mom like that, I would
Hang it up.
I'd hang it up.
done.
We're done. I'm deleting my social media accounts.
I'm laughing it off like, ha ha ha, that was just a big fun
And then you're
karaoke night.
crying
And then,
into your pillow at night.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No, we're not doing that. Well, I thought then, since we're talking about the Jonas brothers, I thought that would make a good FMK.
I know.
Kevin, Joe, and Nick.
I have met Nick Jonas in person a few times.
He seems
Lovely.
like a sweetie. Is he a sweetie?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay.
This is the one that's married to
Priyanka.
Priyanka,
And then Kevin is the oldest one,
who's not,
who
shall not be named.
sweetheart. We just
It's just a sweet.
no one has ever cared about Kevin. It is so sad. Like I'm just like, oh man.
Is Joe, and Joe is the youngest?
No, Joe's in the middle. Nick is the youngest.
Nick is the baby.
Nick is the baby. Nick is, I think, my age-ish. And then Joe is in the middle. And Kevin is the oldest. And Kevin's been married for a long time. And his wife is not famous.
Yeah.
But they've been married for a long time. Kevin is just a normie. He's just a normie.
I feel
He's mid.
I feel 100% on what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to marry Kevin.
Yeah.
You marry him.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He's solid like a rock.
Sounds
man.
like you guys have nailed him as the solid.
Down to earth, very much like loyal, seems loyal to.
Although Nick seems perfectly solid too, honestly. Like his...
But that's why I want to fuck Nick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to fuck Nick.
Okay.
For sure. He's hot. I think
Nick
Nick
is hot.
Jonas is mega hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very hot. But, you know, who am I to compete with
I gotta be honest,
Priyanka?
I don't know if I could do the middle child thing, right? Like,
Well, Nick's
Well,
the
Jo-
youngest.
Joe's
that's what I'm
the
saying.
middle. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
one that's left out, and I'm happy with that because that seems right.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not a lot to add to this, except for maybe a middle child might be
Listen.
the harder one to deal with.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I know we hate Joe Jonas right now. Although I don't. I'm just like whatever.
I
like
hate the way that the media is spinning the
Yeah,
story. I
'cause-
don't know that I have anything against him.
because a lot of people are saying that it's his team that was leaking things about Sophie to get ahead of the divorce announcement. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah,
and
but
so I
also
don't want to speculate on whether or
His
not
team
that's true.
doesn't necessarily mean that he was in behind
Maybe.
it too. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, maybe. So I know that I might catch heat for this, but I was never a huge Jonas Brothers fan. I was a little bit too old, just like barely too
Right.
old to really be into it in a
Yeah.
big way.
Yeah.
But
Same.
I was
barely too old. Same.
but because Nick, you know, I'm around the same age, like because Nick Jonas and I think are the same age. So I was very aware, you know, of course.
Yeah.
I played Fuck, Marry, Kill in my head about the Jonas Brothers, of course.
of course.
Because of being in that kind of space. So I'm going to have to do what my teenage self would have done.
Ooh,
Go
love
for
it.
it. I love this.
I'm going to have to do it. So I'm going to marry Nick.
Right.
No, there you go.
Closest to your age.
And he's
That's how teenagers think.
And he's cute.
Yeah.
And he does seem very like loyal.
Yeah.
And you know, just seems nice. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I like him. I'm gonna marry him.
I feel like I want to know their signs.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
fuck Joe Jonas.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know. Sophie Turner is such a fucking
She's a
badass.
goddess.
Such a goddess.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
Yeah.
And they maintained that relationship for almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, that. Secondly, of the three of them, he seems like the freak. Like he's the freak.
Oh.
Like,
So you're
I
saying
can tell-
Joe's the freak.
Yeah.
He's a Leo.
Okay.
It's tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tracks.
Yeah, he seems like the freak. Like he had another band for a while where they were kind of like a little wacky, and I'm just like, I think that he's gonna be
Freaking the sheets.
Freaking the sheets.
Love
yeah.
it.
And then Kevin's sweet baby. I just never had any interest. Don't even know what you do in the Jonas Brothers. I'm gonna be fucking honest. I think
He's the one that sings bop, right? Oh no, sorry.
I think you have a guitar or
We'll
a
do the
bass.
Hanson Brothers next week for you.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I don't know them either. I have no clue who they are.
Well, I mean, the oldest Hanson brother is also the one where you're like, eh.
Who?
Who'd that be? I don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to just friend Kevin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since I've looked them up and now I can base this off of something solid like astrology.
Okay. Great.
Obviously.
Great.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Joe is a Leo. I'm gonna fuck Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Aries
wise.
and Leo in bed. Are you fucking kidding?
I set the sheets on fire.
We're gonna set the house on fire. Nick is a Virgo and Kevin is a Scorpio.
Oh.
So I have to.
Kevin, what a surprise.
I'm gonna have to marry Nick because I have to go with a Virgo. That makes the most sense for me.
Right.
I need somebody logical. I cannot deal with a Scorpio's emotions. I can barely handle my own.
Big feelings.
I can only barely handle my own and my dog. My
There you
dog's
go.
feelings. So I'm already an emotional support human for somebody, and it's Rose.
There you go.
Okay, awesome. Well, we do have some new patrons.
Yeah, we
Hell,
do.
This week. We
yeah.
have several new patrons. I don't know what's going on,
I
what's
love
in
it.
the air,
I
but we
love it.
love y'all. Thank you so much
You're
for
the best.
joining us. So the first worsty shout out goes to Kelly Metelsky. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on Patreon. We are so excited to have you. And Jen Wade James and Katie Paez.
Hey.
Welcome,
Nice.
Katie, Jen, and Kelly.
Yeah, welcome. We're learning new technology, so we have some big opportunities coming up in the next month. You want to join? We're learning live streaming.
We're trying to figure it out.
We're trying.
Look, this year is hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got it.
I think we say this every year. This year's been
know,
hard.
but it's just like
Yeah.
I've
It's just been busy. It's a lot
I feel
going
like
on.
and this is a weird way to put this, but with the live streaming thing, I'm just like I feel like I just want to poke it with a stick and be like, do it.
Do it. Just do it. I mean,
Hey.
there are like kids that have figured out how to do it on like Twitch, and I'm like, come on.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's,
Dylan could probably tell us how
I
to
know.
do it on Twitch.
Seriously.
Well, I really know. I bet it would take me like an hour and some YouTubes.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
figure out
Between
what I'm doing.
Discord,
But
Twitch,
my
we can figure this
brain
out.
is simply like no.
Why would you want to do that?
no more?
But we're going to figure it out.
Yep.
And this year has been wacky. We have made some changes, and so Patreon members and community, the people that have been there for God since the fucking beginning,
Yeah.
we cannot thank you enough. Because it's this community that keeps us learning new things and wanting to
right.
give you guys more things. So we love you so much and are so grateful for you.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to take 5?
Yes, and then
Wow.
come back with stories.
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right, Cass.
Okay, so I got this story from our inbox, and it says that they would like to stay anonymous. Of course. I know.
Spicy.
I know. Okay, so this is back in college, and I wasn't the smartest dater at the time. I matched with this guy on Tinder, and we decided to jump straight to the date instead of texting for a bit. He picked me up.
That's risky.
It's
risky
risky.
business right there.
You're like, fuck it.
I
That's college.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. A lot.
A
lot.
Dateline episode.
Oh no.
I mean, and if you're going to do that, it better be like we are literally meeting at like the Starbucks on campus.
Yeah.
Like that is what we're doing.
Oh no. He picked her up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because I was broke college student and willing to risk safety over paying for an Uber.
That's right. I mean,
Well,
I get it.
I mean, all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been young
Yes.
and dumb. And from the moment I got in the car, he started complaining about his day, the traffic, the major he was in, how much he hates
What a
it.
turn on.
not
Keep talking dirty
not
to me.
hot. Like complaining. As a complainer myself, let me tell you, I have had to tell myself at times, I'm like,
gotta
Keegan,
shut
you
up.
got to reel it in. You got this isn't cute. Like, stop.
I think people do that sometimes, just be like, oh, relatable. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, they lack something to talk about. So they're like, oh, how about that traffic.
Yeah,
and the
LA
day.
people know because it is always like, how bad was traffic? How bad was parking? There are things that I'm like, that's relatable griping.
Like the
you
whole
can do that.
way
And you're
to
just
the
meeting
movie
this
theater.
person. You've literally never spoken because they haven't spoken.
That's
They
right.
matched and then just decided
Like,
to go out.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Starting off with the bitch box. Yeah. It's not.
Oh my God, please name this fucking episode.
Bench.
The whole way to the movie theater.
Oh, great.
I could barely get a word in and was already over him, but knew I had to spend at least 2 more hours with him. After not talking the whole first half of the movie, he randomly turns to me and goes, "So can I kiss you now?" I'm sorry, what?
College is too old for that. That is high school behavior. That's like middle school, high school behavior where you're just like sitting
Excuse
there
me.
awkwardly and then you're just like, so okay, is this all right? Can I do that?
can I
Like we
kiss you?
said not 3 words.
No.
And only words you've said to me are complaining about
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, and what movie are they watching too? Because it could be like, I don't know, like Saw 3 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be very off-putting.
If you've
now.
never spoken to a person, like you just matched on Tinder and you're going out, a movie is not the place.
No.
Absolutely not. I mean,
No.
we've said this multiple times.
Yeah.
Movie is not first date material.
But
ever,
at least
ever.
if you've talked, it's like, okay, you at least kind of know the person. You don't know anything about this person and you're going to sit next to them silently for 2 hours.
Well,
Yeah.
not completely silent. He asked for a kiss. I had to politely say no and was just counting down the minutes until I could go home. The movie ends and he was insistent we go to dinner, but I so badly wanted to end.
Please no.
I made up the worst excuse possible to get out of it. I told him I totally forgot. I had a group project to work on, had to go meet my classmates immediately on a Saturday night. He obviously saw through my excuse because who the hell is working on a group project from 9 to 10 p.m. on a Saturday?
Procrastinators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably me. Like
don't
somebody who's
know.
just like, oh, fuck, I had weeks to do this project and I didn't do it and I
It's-
need to go work on it all
Right
weekend
now.
now.
Yeah.
Due Monday.
I'm gonna-
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm going to ruin my weekend.
Yep. Yep.
But thankfully, he accepted it. The ick was so strong, I swear I ran out of that car before he could even put it fully in park. I hope he's good now and found someone that he's willing to listen to him complain nonstop because I for sure was not that one person for him.
Oh, babes.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, I discovered the podcast a few months ago and have been binge listening from the beginning. Absolutely love it and often start laughing out loud or gasping at work from all of your stories. Definitely gets me funny looks from my coworkers, but I've slowly gotten some of them onto the podcast too. And so
Yay.
now we laugh together at the
queen.
insane worst date stories.
Love it.
Yes.
Amazing.
We love it.
Love you,
Slowly
Anonymous.
Seeping in.
Yeah, that's right.
people's
We're infecting
lives.
people's lives. I love it. Okay. This one I think is just, I think it could open up an interesting conversation for us to have.
Okay.
My parents set me up. So at the time I was a single dad with
Immediately
full-
no.
Immediately no. My parents set me up.
No.
But he's a single dad with full custody of an amazing 3-year-old boy and equally awesome 2-year-old little girl. So in this scenario, usually I'm like immediately no with parents setting
Yeah.
you up, but like he probably doesn't have a lot of time
Sure.
to like meet new people. So maybe it's like
I guess it depends on the parents.
I guess it depends. Are you a regular mom
Is it
or
my
a cool
mom or is it my dad?
Is it either? Like I love my parents, but
Yeah.
I don't know that I want them setting me
I
up.
feel like my mom would not. I don't know. I feel like it's such
My
a
mom
tricky
gets
situation.
me. I think my mom would pick someone genuinely like that she
See-
figured would work, but I just couldn't get over that it was my parents.
It is such a solid no for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Without
you?
question.
Hard
pass.
pass.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
my mom would set me up with somebody who was wealthy, so she would be looking only at the bank account.
Oh, no.
My dad would look for somebody who we'd match with personally. That is my parents right there.
I will say that one of the things that my dad told me, one of the last conversations that we had that I thought was really interesting, is he said, "I'm so glad that you finally found somebody that loves you more." And I was like, "Why is that?" He's like, "I think that's something that you need." I was like,
You know,
Dad,
but
that's
I
kind
like
of
that.
a read.
Yeah, but I
It,
like
it
that.
can be. It can be read
but
that way. I mean, I think it's sweet. I think that because you've told us that before, and I think that there's risk involved either way.
Either way.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you're with somebody who loves you a lot more than you love them, that's risky behavior.
Which is not true.
It's
I'm
not
like, I
true.
love
No,
Eric to
I think
pieces,
you guys
but-
love each other equally.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
think
Yeah,
that. But I think maybe because you came out of the relationship you came out of
That's
Yeah.
right.
with someone who didn't love you enough or the
Not
right
even
way.
close to
Yeah.
enough.
He
Yeah.
didn't, and
He
not,
loved himself plenty.
right. And as I think that's it. It's just like this feels like Eric loves you more just because your
he-
last relationship was
lacking.
Eric loves you the appropriate amount.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like the right amount.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. My parents set me up. He's got full custody of an amazing 3-year-old boy and equally awesome 2-year-old little girl. I was working from home and pretty much spent most of my time taking care of these 2 little munchkins and didn't have much time to go out. My dad had lunch with one of his clients and they became good friends. At one of his dinner meetings, my mom met the client's daughter and thought she would be great for me. My parents never do this kind of stuff, so I was totally game. I hadn't been out on a date in months. I met the young lady and she was very attractive and seemed pretty sweet. We walked around Santa Monica Pier and through our conversations, I started getting an impression that she was kind of aloof. We went to a nice restaurant and during the course of the meal, she stops and says, "Well, I definitely want to sleep with you, but I don't want to date. I can't do the kid thing."
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Cassie just choked.
hit. Jesus. I mean, that's fine. It's great
It's
to
honest.
be where you're at and
Yeah.
know
Right.
thyself. I mean, and fuck, get laid, bruh.
Yeah, it's honest.
Yeah.
I nodded my head and smiled as I contemplated what she just said to me. My kids are everything, and I felt totally belittled by what she said. Don't get me wrong, I've had one-night stands or relationships with women I would not venture to introduce to my kids, but in this instance, I was open for something deeper. I excused myself and left. I called her 10 minutes later and informed her I wasn't coming back and would pay for a ride home if she needed it. She said that her brother was picking her up and that was that. So he just left the date.
Damn.
Ooh.
That doesn't, it feels like an inappropriate response for somebody who's being honest with you. You could
Right.
you could just be honest back. Be like, you know what? Thank you for letting me know. We're
That's
clearly
not where
on
I'm
the-
at
Yeah, it's not
right
where I'm
now.
at right now. And we're clearly not on the same page, but I appreciate your honesty. That could have been literally
Right.
the
That's how I
easiest
feel too.
exit ever.
Okay. And then the ending is the funniest part of the story. We had dinner again. Our families were together this time. Yes, it was awkward, but we made it through. I met her brother for the first time and we ended up being really good friends for years. First thing he says to me when we hang out is, "My sister's a weirdo. I know. You don't have to tell me. It's not the first time I've had to pick her up because someone left her."
No.
We laughed about it. I don't know what happened to her, but that's the only time I've had to leave a date.
No.
Listen.
No.
And also, you
understand-
didn't have to
you
fucking leave
didn't.
that
And
date.
The thing is, I understand.
And she's not a weirdo for being honest.
Right.
I'm
your
sorry.
kids should be your priority.
Sure,
I
great.
totally get that. Like your kids should be your number one priority.
Yeah. If
And,
you like kids.
well, if they're your kids,
Just
like,
kidding.
if you chose to
Also
have
that.
them and take care of them, then like they should be your number one priority. Like they're relying on you for everything. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to get involved with somebody who, is that honest about just like,
Yeah.
I'm really not fucking
It
interested.
sounded like she was the more mature person on this on this date. I'm sorry.
Right.
What he did was extremely immature.
Well,
Like it's so
also,
ridiculous.
Here's my question: if the parents set it up, like,
Right.
wouldn't she have known about
see,
the kids
that's
beforehand?
Thank you.
the other thing
Why even
is
go on
like,
the date?
shouldn't
Yeah.
she have exactly? So I can see it kind of from both because I would assume that she knew
Yeah.
that he had kids.
Yeah.
She chose to go on that date. Maybe the whole time, maybe she saw his picture and the whole time she was like, would love to smash,
Sure.
but don't want to date.
Yeah.
So
Not wrong with that.
maybe she went on the date, but if that's the case, I guess set expectations before you go out because he
Right.
doesn't have a lot of extra time. He was looking for something serious and she wasn't. It looks like they were looking for different things. Like
Right.
that's it.
And that's totally fine.
But
Right.
not cause to like abandon somebody at a place.
I
I
was
don't
just
love
like,
that.
I don't love that. And I don't love that the brother was just like, yeah, my sister's crazy. Like,
no.
I don't know.
Poor woman.
It seemed like a lot.
I feel like that wouldn't be my brothers.
I don't think it would be my brothers either.
No.
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 First of all, my brother would not suddenly become friends with these fuckers.
Oh, absolutely
I'm
not.
sorry, what?
Yeah. Okay. I got a wild ride for you guys. Okay. It all started when he pulled up to my house in his mom's 10-year-old minivan.
Oh.
We were 16.
Oh,
He
fuck
was
yeah.
awkward, and it wasn't really a date in the sense that we just asked each other to hang out without romantic intention, as far as I knew.
I've said this before, and I will say this again. As the 16-year-old with the minivan, whenever I was in high school,
Everybody had a friend with a
Ford
minivan.
era star.
everybody had a friend with a minivan.
That's
I was
right.
that friend. I drove my mom's fucking silver
God.
minivan everywhere,
God.
and it ruled. It was fucking so rad.
The way I had the biggest flashback right now.
I know.
I literally had sex with the guy in the
the
back,
back
of
of a
my
minivan?
friend's minivan
Yeah, listen,
when they were in it.
Cassie.
Cassandra.
High school.
Oh,
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, that's what you do.
Wow.
That's what you do. Yep. So he looked nothing like his Facebook pictures. Anyway, I get in the car with him so we could go to the movies. The theater's in the next town, so we had a 30-minute drive ahead of us. Awkward moments started almost instantly when his friend texted as I got into the car, and I could see the text said, "How's the date going, stud?"
Oh no.
He pretty much threw his phone at the floor and told me it was about another date he was supposed to be on, but then canceled.
Babe,
And
stop
this
it.
technically wasn't a date.
You are making it so
Dude,
much worse.
just
You're making it worse. Just shush. Just shush. Also, that made me have a recovered memory. This has nothing to do with this, but him throwing the phone reminded me of at your bachelorette party. Our friend, who I won't name on this podcast just in case she cares. She doesn't, I'm sure, but we got home from Cali Love and she was drunk, wine drunk, and wanted Taco Bell, and we were trying to
Yes.
order, and at one point we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do, and she just yelled, "I want a Crunchwrap Supreme," and threw and then you guys came into the room and she just dumped. A hotel bed.
Whole
She
bag of
dumped
chips.
an entire bag of Lay's potato chips
on the bed.
directly on the bed, and then pulled out like a homemade tub of sour cream, like the
Like
French
dip.
onion dip.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we ate it
off the bed. I've
off
off
the
the
bed.
pictures.
Yeah.
Insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're alive.
We drank a lot.
We drank all the
I
wine.
Not believe we are alive. Like the amount of germs that are on that, like
And we ate off of it.
Yeah, I actually feel healthier than I've ever felt. My body is just fighting
my immune
shit.
system is so strong.
It's like the
So
Wonder
strong.
Woman in here.
I will say I was very careful to only eat the chips on the very top. I was like, I am not snaking down to the bottom layer.
Oh, no.
But anyway, he threw the phone. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I had to tell the people.
It's not even a date. So next we're on the highway, moving at speeds I don't think minivans are supposed to reach. He's weaving in and out of
No,
traffic.
sir.
I'm having a mini heart attack.
Yeah.
I break the silence and ask, "So do you always drive like this?" "Pretty much." Have you
My minivan.
have you been pulled over before? "No." "Why?" "It's just that you're going 140 kilometers and the limit is 100. He didn't get the hint and ends up driving even faster.
No.
Okay, so 15 minutes of silence later, he gets off at the wrong exit, then starts driving down the street. I let him know that the theater's about 3 exits further down the highway, so he does a U-turn back to the highway, forcing an oncoming car to slam on their brakes, then drives
God.
back towards the highway, which is about 300 feet away from us. He picks up the pace, and when I tell him he just missed the entrance, he swerves over the curb onto the grass.
This man's an Aries.
You gotta let
This
me
man
out of
is
the
an
car.
Aries.
We're done now.
This man
not,
is an Aries, and I am ashamed to say
It's
it.
not Fast and Furious.
my-
You're in a minivan. Relax.
Fast and Furious. Okay, so another 10 minutes and we're at the theater. Lucky me, I found out that the movie isn't playing for another 50 minutes. So we
So I could have drove slower.
I know.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we had time. We're not late. We're not going to miss the previews.
He was trying to impress her with his badass driving skills.
That is 100%.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yes.
Cassie.
we know that I've already shared that shame receipt that I was. If you didn't catch it the first time, I'm not sharing it again.
There you go. You got to go back and find it. So we get in line waiting to buy the tickets, and he said, "I would pay for your ticket, but I only brought $2.
Sir.
"Oh, I guess that means I can't pay for mine either. Could I borrow like $7?
How did you not know
Can I borrow $7?
that this was what was going to happen?
Oh my God. So I hand him $7.
Oh my God.
and then reach into my bag and pull out a pack of gum, take a piece, offer it to him. He says, no thanks. Actually, yeah, I came here right from work and haven't had a chance to brush my teeth today. Awesome.
At all? You didn't brush your teeth when you woke up?
Sir.
It was a 16-year-old boy. We had to kill about 35 minutes before we could sit down for the movie. There was a bookstore next door, so we just walked around there for a while. This is like
That's
so
such a
giving me
teenager date.
like
Yeah.
you're walking around the Barnes and
How
Nobles.
many
before.
times did you go to a Barnes and Nobles
Always.
with a date? I did.
100.
Oh.
Yeah.
100.
Honestly, best.
It was not bad. I mean, honestly,
I'm about to go home and take Chris to the Barnes and Noble.
There you go.
Free date.
Yeah.
Can play Mad Libs. That happened to me once on a date
Oh, that's
at a
kinda
Barnes
cute.
and Noble.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
that's a really good day. I'm not gonna lie.
It was fun.
After the longest 35 minutes of my life, we go back to the theater. He wanted something at the concession stand and ended up ordering a large popcorn,
How you gonna
nachos,
pay
a
for that,
large
sir?
drink, 3 bags of candy,
Sir, how you paying for that?
and paid.
Wait, what?
This shady bitch. I swear to God. That is fucked up. I would be so mad.
I'm sorry. You just birds.
I'd be like, we're not. First of all, I'm taking that popcorn and I'm sitting in a different row than you.
I helped him carry his life supply of theater
Shut
food to our
up.
seats, and we sit down. About 10 minutes into the commercials, there was a commercial where a guy said something like, hey, the guy in the 5th row looks good down here, and points from the screen at a seat. And I kind of smirked because nobody was sitting in the 5th row. We're continuing to watch previews for about 7 minutes when he gets up, walks down about 20 rows, sits in the seat, turns around, and then waves to me. I was totally
Oh my
confused.
God.
I love that he'd probably been sitting on that joke for a while.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
as soon
He's
as
like,
he
"I'm gonna
heard
do
it, he's
it.
like, I'm gonna
gonna
and it
do
like
it.
took him a while to work his way up, but it's like the moment is over.
It was over 10 minutes ago. And then he turns, comes back after the long walk back to the seats and said, huh, I'm the guy in the 5th row.
I get it. I get it.
She even typed it out. Anyway, the movie starts. We went to see Zombieland. I jump at a few parts because loud noises make me jump. And without fail,
And that
he
movie
tells
is a
me
jumpy movie.
every time how stupid I am for jumping.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how stupid my fist is in your mouth? You fucking piece of shit. Oh, sorry. Too far?
Aggressive.
Too far?
If
Too
he
far.
wasn't my only way home, I would have left long before. In the middle of the movie, he said to me, oh my God, can I do that yawn arm thing with you?
No.
What is that?
What? You don't know that? Like,
No, I'm talking about like in the middle of the movie, just all of a
Oh,
sudden, you're
talking,
like,
yeah.
can I do this
oh,
thing?
Can
And
talking
it's like,
right in the middle of the movie.
no.
Yeah.
I reply with, no, thank you. And he goes silent for 30 seconds, then loudly exclaims, oh, okay. Oh God, I made this really awkward, didn't I?
Oh my God.
I managed to reassure him it wasn't awkward. And
It
then we,
is.
Now
It's awkward.
we finished the movie and got in the car to go home. Another life-threatening car ride home, and we're in front of my house after 20 minutes.
And I rolled out.
We get out of the car, and despite the fact that he kind of grossed me out, I don't think brushing his teeth was the only hygienic routine he forgot that day.
Oh,
I gave him a hug when I said goodbye. After an awkward silence, he screams out, want to see me juggle?
I don't.
No. Dad, can you come outside, please?
Pardon? I have my unicycle in the trunk. Want to see me juggle?
Wait.
I mean, low-key,
Yes,
I
now.
would. Yeah, I really would. I would love to see someone riding
On my
unicycle
sloped ass
and juggle,
driveway,
please.
I hope.
That's fucking hilarious.
So right there in the middle of the street at 10 p.m., he gets out a unicycle and juggling clubs and
That's
begins
hilarious.
to juggle.
Clubs even. I'm actually very impressed.
Sir.
That sounds
Are
hard.
you in a circus? Like, what are you doing?
He's a carny. He manages to drop everything about 3 times and then proceeds to tell me it's probably because the street light was
Look,
blinding him.
Hold on. If you are going to be so bold as to say, do you want to see me juggle?
You better know how to juggle.
juggle for your life.
Yes.
Okay. Like that juggling better,
You better be the
pristine.
fucking best at
Yes.
it. Bro. No, this
Be
is
dropping. That is so embarrassing.
this is the equivalent of like starting and restarting Stairway to Heaven on the guitar like 4 times.
no.
That's how awkward this is. Well, that was interesting. Anyway, I start walking up my driveway, more like running, and holler good night to him, to which he said, night, I hope we can do this again.
Nope.
I had a great time. And I just kind of nervously laughed and said, yeah, okay. Just my luck. The front door was locked and nobody was home.
no.
I ended up just hiding in the garage
Yeah.
until he drove away, then calling my brother to come open the door.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
That
I
was-
got it. See ya.
Bye.
It's all good.
You don't need to stay. See you later.
Oh man,
That was such a 16-year-old.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All of that just felt like I saw my mom's green Ford Aerostar minivan. I just had so many just flashbacks to going to Continental for the $1.
Oh, the Continent.
The Continent. Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
I remember I used to at the Continent. They had a place like a smoke shop, but you could get clove cigarettes even if you were under 18.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So
cool.
Yeah,
I feel like cloves were really like the introductory cigarette for so many.
Oh, for me it was cigarettes. So
Yeah. I think was the Continent the one that had the Big Bear in the
oh no.
the lot? Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, I'm thinking of
Continent
a
was the
different
one that was like it was like all like outdoor kind of shops and like really nice restaurants and stuff.
Blast from the past.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good. And we're back, and I have the Tainted Love story. And when I tell you, some weeks are so like back and forth. I started the story, I stopped the story, I started it again, left it again, came back to it, and I was like, because sometimes stories literally just land in your lap, and this one, when I say literally it came in my People magazine this week. And I was like,
I know what you're going to do, I think.
Oh, so it's current.
Yeah.
It's ongoing. The investigation has been happening for over a year. But I'm going to tell the story of Kouri and Kouri Richens.
Yep.
Which is, again, happening as we speak.
This was on, I almost did this last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you had more to say.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I was like, and?
That's it.
I thought you said it was on something. I was like, what was it on?
No, because it was just like, it's been.
In the cycle.
Yeah. And I saw that it was on People. And so it was popping up a lot.
Well, and I got a lot of my information from People. It seems like they have been the ones who've been attacking the story
Vigorously.
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny, like certain like news companies will pick up a story and then it's like this one they have had the most articles about. I mean, it's like an article every couple weeks and I've read like 5 of them. So between that and independent article, there's been tons of coverage. There's a lot going on and there's a lot to share. That was actually one of the things I was worried about, because sometimes with cases like this, there's not a lot to share. They don't have a lot in the, there's not a lot that's been released. This story is not that way. There's been a lot released. It's Camas, Utah, March 4th last year. This is 2022. At 3:22 a.m., a call comes into the police. Kouri Richens has found her husband cold at the foot of the bed, not breathing. She tells police her husband is a fit 39-year-old. Why the hell? This can't be
out of the blue.
This is completely he is a fit man. Why is he can't possibly be dead? I mean, all this is caught on the, cams, the body cams of the police officers. I mean, she's visibly upset. Even family and friends are like, she was distraught. There's been I saw one article that was like, she had a party the next day. I'm like,
what?
I know.
Cancel.
Yeah, I know. I was like, but I don't know if it was that so much as it seems like maybe she had some people over
to comfort
her.
That's not a party.
That's not a party. Exactly.
Okay. You gotta word that differently, because immediately I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
She had a fucking rager? Because that makes me think of the Ken and Barbie killers, where they had her wedding they got married the following week after her sister died.
Yeah.
It's that shit is so cancel.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
It would not be me. But yeah, it seems as though, and that's the thing that I am finding the most about this case, because the more articles you read about it, the more you're running into a lot of, obviously the family is upset. So let me kind of just start and tell you kind of what happened, right? So the police come, they find, Eric's body. They, following the autopsy, they find out that they determined that he'd overdosed basically on fentanyl, apparently taking 5 times the lethal amount.
Oof.
Which is quite a fucking lot.
Yes.
So right away they're just like, he overdosed, right? Like this is what happened. I mean, this is America, right? Like, A fentanyl overdose, unfortunately, is more common than we like to discuss. I mean, it's a real problem in the US right now, and fentanyl overdoses are pretty common. And so,
did he have a prescription or what?
No prescription. This was illegal. So this was an illegal usage, and that was not prescribed to him.
Okay.
So, they had been celebrating that night. So Kouri was like, I had just made a big deal for, she's a real estate agent. So she was like, that night they had just closed the deal that on the 3rd, technically. And so they were like celebrating. They were just having a nice night. She'd made him a Moscow Mule. One of her kids woke up in the middle of the night. She heard him crying. So she went and laid down in bed with him. And that was the last time she saw him. And he was drinking his drink in bed. And then that's when she got up in the middle of the night to return to bed. That's when she found him at 3:22 a.m. So this death is shocking to everyone, right? Obviously, he's a young man. They have 3 young children, all under the age of 10, 3 young boys. And so for the family...
I mean, so fentanyl is like mixed in with like other drugs most of the time is how people...
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Right.
So... like, was he a drug user?
So there is not any clear evidence at this point that shows him being a drug user. However, I did read in one of the articles that had said that he had started using some illicit drugs. He was part of the Church Latter-day Saints. And this was kind of ever since he had started dating Kouri, the family kind of felt that he had been, straying a little bit from that. And also there was like...
Is she not a member of the church?
It doesn't say that she is.
Okay.
And I haven't found anything that says that she is. So I don't know if that was also part of the family being like, well, she's not even, a Mormon. I don't know.
I gotta say, Utah's having a rough year. Okay. Because you saw that like family YouTuber who just got arrested too for like... And she's out of Utah. Lori
Vallow
just
I did
got,
that story.
Yeah. Y'all.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Are y'all okay over there?
Utah.
Yeah.
Honeys, babies.
It's been a rough time.
Blink twice.
Right.
So, the family was like, he had a rough patch or whatever, but like there's nothing specifically saying that he'd had a drug problem. Now, I don't know if this is something that might come out a little bit later or whatever, because it does feel like there's some things that on the defense side that have not been released yet. So I'm really just going to present you guys with what we know.
What's there. Okay.
From what's been shared by both sides.
Okay.
A lot more has been shared from the prosecution side, because there's been, obviously they have to make complaints against her, all this stuff. So a lot of paperwork has been filed on that side. So you have to have that. Again, the death was pretty shocking. The thing that was difficult, of course, was for Kouri is that she's got like these 3 boys, and she's got to explain to them that, dad's not coming back. And I mean, she was like, she apparently in an interview was saying, the nights were the worst parts. She looked everywhere, Amazon, all these places to trying to find like books that maybe would help her cope and help her children cope. And so because she wasn't finding anything, she decided to write a children's book with the help of her children and a ghostwriter. So she had put this book together and had this like ghostwriter go through it and help her. The person didn't write it specifically, but had gone through it for, to have a professional.
Right.
The professional, when they talked about it, she was visibly still, even a year later, very upset. Her family, her friends, her close friends were like, she was still wearing her wedding ring. She was completely distraught. Like, this is a woman who under no circumstances would anybody be like, she's doing anything but grieving right now. So, it was very shocking then when literally just days after she does this interview for Good Day Utah or Good Day Salt Lake or something like that about her book, that she's arrested for murdering her husband. So here are some of the things that have come out since this accusation. First of all, the accusations have come from the family, have immediately were like, she's involved. From jump, we're like, she is involved in this somehow. The fact is that when Kouri and Eric met, they had met. She was working at like a Home Depot, and he owned a like stone business, like stone masonry business. He came from a wealthy family. His family are ranchers. He's, you know, it's a loving family, but they're very wealthy. And when they met, you know, of course, Kouri's an outsider and she doesn't fit into this, you know, big rich mold. Right. And Eric doesn't care. He's happy with her, and he decides they end up having their first son. And about a year after his birth, they end up getting married. If this is a very telling way of how you can kind of see how the family felt about her. She's dressed up, wedding dress, pearls on, about to walk down the aisle, and here comes mother-in-law with a fucking prenuptial agreement that's like, you're going to sign this before you marry my son today.
On your wedding day.
Wow.
That's fucked up. That is fucked up. Like, cause that's, look, I understand wanting to protect your interests, the interests of your children. Like, I get that. All of that shit should have been worked out well
before that day.
You don't spring that on somebody the day they're getting ready to walk down the aisle. That is fucked.
That's a bitch box.
That's
it certainly is.
It certainly is.
So she signs it, and they go through the wedding. They have a beautiful wedding at their new home, a beautiful outdoor wedding. They have this incredible home, like $1 million home with a beautiful backyard. Kouri and Eric do already. Kouri seemingly is like happy to be the breadwinner of the family. He's Mr. Man making all the dough, and she's like, which is fine for her, but she's also the person who paid for herself to go to school.
Her name is Kouri. Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, Eric. I'm sorry.
Okay. You said Kouri was the breadwinner. I'm like, what happened? I missed something.
Home Depot, she got a raise.
She got a whole raise. She's making $0.25 more an hour.
Damn.
Yeah. No, sorry. Eric is
got it.
The breadwinner. He's happy to be like the Mr. Man, make the money, do the thing, take care of his family.
But she's not about that hashtag trad wife.
No,
life.
She wants to. She paid her way through school. She wants to contribute. She wants to make some money for herself. She doesn't want to just be like a stay-at-home wife. Plus, I mean, I think she's bored. Her kids are starting to like
get older.
Yeah, she wants to do stuff and thing, and so she decides to get her real estate license.
Nice,
amazing. It seems
love that
though
for her.
She was loving it, but Eric's family says that Kouri had been getting herself into some financial issues, which is like, okay, well then let her get a job. But it also seems as that part of these financial issues is that one of those things is like 2019, she had allegedly opened an account through Eric's name in the tune of $250,000 that she wanted to use to invest in her real estate business.
Without telling him? Just like did it?
Yeah, just apparently just did it.
Well, you can't do that. Allegedly.
In 2020, also according to Eric's sister, Katie, the petition that she put in, Kouri had borrowed
in quotes,
in heavy quotes, $100,000 from his bank account and $30,000 from his credit cards. Apparently, Eric,
I just want to see a peek-see at their bank account.
It's a lot of money being
a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros. I know.
Tons of zeros being thrown around. Apparently, Eric was upset about it, but he'd made, they'd come to terms with it. They had made arrangements, whatever. She was going to pay him back.
You have to talk to people. I'm just going to go on record and say, you have to talk to people before you can just borrow $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I that's just my personal feelings on the matter.
Well, Keegan, I mean, I guess if that's how you feel about it, I guess you do.
I don't think that's one of those just act and ask questions later, like ask for permission later kind of situations.
Yeah. You don't mind, right? I just
took a little, a small little.
No big deal. No big deal.
100G.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. It wasn't fine. And around this time, of course, even though he says like, yeah, we started, we really settled it. We talked about it, whatever. The other things started really to sour. Apparently Eric might've been having an affair. There was a lot of like little things happening that were like, and again, I only found one article that said he was having an affair. So this is all, again, speculative,
Right.
based off of what people are saying.
What do you need $380,000 for within a real estate business?
She is buying and flipping houses. So that's also part of her
But again, like,
positioning. Yeah.
if he's supporting her new career, why not just ask? You know what I mean? Because
I don't
why
think
not
he's
just
wanted her to have a career, though. And I think that's why she had to do it a bit backhanded. That's the way it's coming across.
still can't do that?
You see, you can't.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Keegan, you're absolutely right.
I get it.
You
I
can't.
get. Look, I understand it. She's
Listen.
like, I need to get it done, get her done. I understand the
Then-
urge, but you also can't just.
You sure can't.
Even if it's your spouse, I really feel like you need to have a conversation first.
Yeah.
It does turn out it's illegal. And I think it's even more illegal if you're a woman who takes from a man. I think that's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Feels right, though. It was around this time, though, also that Eric decided that he was going to consult with a divorce attorney. And, he'd actually just started kind of moving around some of his assets. He decided that he wanted this life insurance policy and stuff like that to go into a trust that would go to his children. And instead of Kouri being the executor, now it would be his sister. So he's moved things around a lot.
I mean, that is interesting.
It is interesting. There was also some news or some part of an article that I saw that it said that she had 5. That's 5 insurance policies that she took out on him.
Why do you need
that's
that many?
a lot.
I feel like this comes up every now and again when we do these Tainted Loves where they're like, this person had 7 insurance policies.
You're
And I'm
like,
like, do you need
Nope.
for
Do you know how
what?
much those monthly premiums are too?
I didn't even know you're allowed to take out that many. Like, how does that
insane.
even work?
Yeah, you'd figure someone would be like, "What you
Suspicious.
What are you
After
doing?"
the third one.
Incredibly suspicious,
Yeah,
right?
like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you need this many?
Well, I don't know. Apparently because she's also in debt. She's been, taking all this money, and that is really, I think, the gravity behind the family's speculation of why she
Right.
did this. They feel like
She has
she
strong
did
motive,
this.
they
Her
feel.
motive is money.
Are they saying though, like, did she know about her being removed as executor of the estate? Or
So that does come up in January of 2022. So January of last year, she allegedly changed the beneficiary for Eric's $2 million life policy to her under her name without his authorization, which originally was under Eric's business partner. So they had a business agreement. So he has a business partner with his,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
And part of that policy, I'm sure, is to cover, like, if anything happens to one of them, they
Exactly.
can take care of the business, right?
Yep.
So they have this $2 million life insurance policy. She changes it under a fake power of attorney.
Well,
The insurance company's like, excuse me, you can't do that. And they caught it right away and changed it back. But obviously, again, that's like,
it's suspicious. That's
hi.
weird.
That's
that's-
very suspicious. Yeah. It also, there's some other weird things that had been happening between them. Court documents say that on Valentine's Day of the 20s of 2022, that after eating a sandwich that Valentine's night, Eric had become ill. He broke out in hives, apparently had to use an EpiPen. It was like a lot of drama. But he had apparently told people that he suspected his wife of poisoning him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Also, there on one of the search warrants, it says that Eric's sister had told the investigators that during a vacation that they'd had in Greece a few years prior, Eric also said that he'd been having a drink and he was pretty sure that it was poisoned and that he suspected her of poisoning him.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say and then stay with somebody for 3 years. Also, that's a Valentine's Day sandwich.
Thank you. Dude, I'm so glad you picked that up because it was also my first thing. I was like,
Happy Valentine's Day. Here's
Look, I love a
Here's
good
a bologna sandwich.
I'm not gonna lie. Like
I put extra mayo on it for you.
sandwiches underrated. They're so good.
ham and cheese.
That could be a
Honey, I made you
deluxe
a
fucking
sandwich.
sandwich.
Happy Valentine's.
Have you look? I have had some sandwich. I will go to
Keegan
bat
in
for
the
this.
defense of sandwiches.
I sure maybe they cut it. We used a cookie cutter. They cut it into the shape
Shit.
of a heart. I
Oh.
have had some sandwiches that have changed my life.
Okay.
like
All
I've had
right.
some good fucking sandwiches
God.
in my life.
All right.
I
I
love
need to make
bread.
these sandwiches.
I love
Bread
everything
is-
that goes between it.
Yeah.
like look.
Listen, you're not wrong.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. The best sandwich you've ever had. That's also poison.
Here's a grilled cheese poison sandwich.
Yeah.
I love a fucking sandwich.
Oh, geez. March 3rd, like I said, 2022, Richens told investigators the couple had been celebrating at the home. So this is the night that I was telling you about in question. That she had made her husband the Moscow Mule before he'd passed away. And the family is like, it's the Moscow Mule. It's definitely what caused. He's like, she has tried to poison him twice. The family is saying basically Kouri spiked the Moscow Mule. It had to be that she had made for her husband that night, which led ultimately to his overdose. So after continued speculation from the family, the police are then prompted, of course, to open an investigation. They obtain a search warrant to the couple's home and electronic devices. It's then that they discover several communications between Kouri Richens and an acquaintance. So let me tell you a little about that. The acquaintance, the messages back and forth had been about Kouri asking to get a prescription for pain medication. She had said that one of the investors she was working with had some back injuries and wanted some hydrocodone pills.
What? Pause. First of all, your investor can't go get their own pain medication. Why are they going through their realtor? That's fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to be like, my investor, I need to get hydros.
It would be better if she had been like, I threw my back out. Do you have any?
Right,
Like, you
that's
know what I
so
mean? But
strange.
that explanation that
It's
she
really
gives
weird.
An
is
investor, so
yeah.
somebody with like money, an ability to go, probably could go get them themselves. Like that's so strange.
or ask somebody else more appropriate.
Right,
to
why
get
did
it. You know what I
ask
mean?
your
Like realtor.
That's
yeah.
so strange. Like
It
you're
is
just
weird.
like, and you're just like, my back hurts. Do you happen to
I mean,
do you have a hookup?
well, I mean, I get, okay, complete speculation. But if I threw my back out, I don't think that you guys necessarily have hookups, but I might be like, oh, do you know anybody that,
Yeah.
Like I'm working with
But
you or I'm around
we're
you.
friends. We're not your realtor.
Yeah, that's different than like just
true.
somebody that you're around. Because I could,
But I
I
just
could
feel like they
complain.
work
I already
together.
told you, I am the complainer. if my back hurt and I was around somebody for an extended period of time, they're gonna know about it.
I mean,
but I'm not
I
going
will
to
tell you, I do or do not have prescription bottles in my house that have other people's names on them.
There you go.
One of them might be Anthony's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I wouldn't ever ask somebody.
No.
It would have to be a close friend,
Right.
for me to ask that. And
Yeah,
also,
it's true.
if you have back pain and you have money,
Yeah.
and you have insurance, go to a doctor.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is weird. Listen, I'm not saying it's not weird. All of this is very much leading us.
Suspicious.
Right. It's suspicious.
It's suspicious. I'm not saying she
The
did it or
police think
didn't
it's
do
suspicious.
it. It's just that is weird.
I will tell you the police have arrested her since then, so they think it's suspicious as well. They had left the house or the pills at a house that she'd flipped. She paid them in cash. Kouri then also reportedly reached back out to that same person, the same acquaintance / friend, and asked if she could get something stronger. Quote, something of the Michael Jackson stuff or some of the quote Michael Jackson.
Whoa.
Would you? That is so fucking weird. If I needed pain medication because like I was in a lot of pain and maybe I didn't have insurance and I needed medication of some kind, I would not point to someone who overdosed and
Thank
say,
you.
that's what
Give
I
me
want.
that.
Give me that stuff. give me the stuff that caused people to die. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get some of that shit?
It's fucking
Ooh.
so strange.
Listen, like I said, it's not adding up nice.
Doesn't look good for her.
Sure doesn't
No.
look good. Kouri stated that she meant specifically she was asking for her friend wanted fentanyl, which is not what the Michael Jackson stuff, by the way. The friend ended up giving Kouri 15 to 20 fentanyl pills, about $900 worth.
Who is this friend?
I don't know.
They just have this shit just lying around.
I'm pretty sure it's somebody who she knows.
A hookup.
Oh, from
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
this is obviously like a hookup. But again, we don't know. The Michael Jackson shit is suspicious.
Yeah.
But the other side of this is maybe her husband did have an addiction problem. Maybe he was taking pills. Maybe she knew a hookup that he could get them through. I mean, there's a lot of different things. I don't know. And I'm not here to say guilty or innocent because I truly know we don't know
a
at this point.
heavy allegedly over this entire
Real
story.
strong.
But it is just like these things look strange. They look strange.
I would be very suspicious.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean she did it because like there could be explanations.
But to throw a circle back around to what we were talking about at the top of this episode, which is, I think if you put anybody's marriage under a microscope,
absolutely,
you can pick and choose moments and be like, that's fucking weird, because people are fucking weird and we do weird fucking shit.
No, their marriage stuff isn't necessarily weird to me.
It just has more zeros behind it.
Right. The stuff
anything.
with the family, I'm like, I know how, if they didn't like her from the beginning, I know that they could be painting a picture. That doesn't necessarily sway me against her. That one way or the other. It's these text messages that I find strange. Right?
Yeah.
And again,
very
it's
strange.
all speculation. We don't fucking know. It's a big allegedly. There could be an explanation. Life is weird. Yeah. But specifically,
the Michael Jackson thing.
If I were to be like, give me the Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. Oof. I'd be like,
are you
okay? Yeah.
Like that would be a weird thing for me to say.
I don't
like I'm coming over.
Right. Yeah. Like this feels unsafe. I don't like that.
The dots appear, disappear, appear, disappear.
You know what? I'm just going to drive over and just stay where you're at. I'm coming.
I'm coming to you.
Right.
I'll be right there.
And that sounds really like scary, but I said it that way because that would be fucking scary.
Yes.
If you got a text from somebody that was this is what I need. I need this level of pain reduction.
Yeah. And they're like, I'm coming to get you.
Listen. Weeks later. So this is all kind of happening between December and February. It's actually right after
she changed the life insurance and stuff
and also
like that.
the Valentine's Day thing happened. The Valentine's Day sandwich. But then again, just weeks later, apparently she reaches out once more for $900 more worth of fentanyl pills. It's literally just weeks. February 26th is when this happened. This is just weeks before Eric is found dead. Kouri's friends, though, so like this is all adding up. Like, we know where the fentanyl came from, right? So it's all looking very suspicious. However, like I said, there's two sides to every story. A lot of these things are all pointing to something happening that led to Eric's death. Again, we don't know, though, whether it was because of malicious intent on her behalf because she wanted money or whatever she thought she was going to get out of this. But she had to have known that she wasn't going to get money. If she already knew that she tried to change it, obviously that didn't work. She probably knows that she's not going to get anything out of his death. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the family, his family is adamant that this is what happened, of course. But Kouri's friends and even some of Eric's friends are like,
don't think so.
No, there's no way that this is happening. A lot of them are saying basically a lot is going to come out during the trial that just disproves all of this. They seem to be very relaxed about the way that this might proceed because they are absolutely standing beside her. Her friends are like, and one of the things that we do know for sure is that they don't actually have any proof of Eric's cocktail being spiked. In fact, the glass was tested and there wasn't anything in it.
That's what I was saying at the very beginning when you started talking, because I remember reading this and the first question I had is like, oh, was he just like a partier? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
maybe he took too much or something, like he takes recreational drugs and this was just, Yeah,
I don't know. One of the other things had said too that he'd taken some THC gummies. So I don't know. I mean, it does feel as though maybe he had been doing some light partying. We don't know. And I think that the family, from what Kouri's friends are speculating at this point, they're upset. They lost their son. This is a very tragic thing to go through and they need somebody to blame for it.
Yeah. Well, and it does, like, she did secure the fentanyl. So that's weird.
Absolutely.
And like
Yes.
maybe she could have been doing it on his behalf.
Sure.
But
Right.
if it was my brother or my family member, it
Listen.
would be difficult not to be like, not because you do want to blame someone. Like you don't want to just think that this was an accident or he was having a rough time and he was leaning on substances. Like you don't want to believe that.
That's
and
right.
then you find out that this person that you already didn't like is the one who bought the drugs that killed your,
I'm not saying
your sibling.
it wouldn't be me.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean-
saying that because I would see very well it
Right.
could be
Doesn't
in the
mean
same
that
boat.
she's guilty, but I do understand the feeling of being like, well, why did you bring it into the house? You know, because like you just want to blame somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot to go through. But as of right now, there are no, I guess, real final answers. I mean, this is all the information that I was able to find so far, but it does feel like there's new stuff being released pretty often. So pretty regularly. So
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
Well,
look
let's
forward to
Hearing more. Yeah.
the truth comes out, you
Yeah.
know, because I mean, right now it is tragedy. Like Eric has passed, but you know,
Yeah.
what
And his
if
sons.
another like tragedy is like that she's actually innocent
and had to go through-
having to go through all this.
so publicly with those
Yeah.
children
yeah,
as well.
So-
yeah, that's
we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Scary.
Thanks for bringing it up and walking us through it, Cass.
you did a much better job than I would have done. So I'm glad.
I just thought it was interesting and I kept getting pulled back into it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like I said, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I don't know. It's too fresh. It's too new. But I think that like there's still enough to present both sides. And I think that to me is really important.
Well,
I
you
think
give
a
us
lot of
an-
times that you see these stories come up and you're just like, oh, shit.
You
Yeah.
can give us an update later too.
Oh, yeah.
you know, whenever.
Speaking of updates, I do have an update from one of the stories I told. The Simonelli trial. Remember, he was the one who was the hairdresser. His
Yes.
wife.
Oh, yeah.
And her. He was actually just sentenced, and she's still yet to go to trial. Her camp is basically still saying she's not involved. It's it was all him. But he was sentenced, I believe, 25 to life. So.
Well, we'll try and figure out what episode you did that story
Yeah.
from, and then we can put the episode number in the show notes. So if anybody wants a refresher on that or wants to Google about that update, they can. But
Yeah.
that's great.
It's weird because it was actually at the bottom of one of the articles I was reading in People. So
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Updates.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I read Station 11. I think I was telling you that. I loved it. I thought it was just such a beautifully written book. I watched the TV show. I watched the whole thing. I actually enjoyed it. I thought that it was beautiful. Like the way that it was shot was so stunning. The talent was all great. If you have read the book, it is not the book. Like it is so changed. Like
Yeah.
they
Wow.
changed so much about it. That was interesting. You kind of have to take them. It's like loosely based on the book.
Oh,
So
interesting.
Was the show enjoyable?
I enjoyed it,
Okay.
but I had to just kind of divorce
Disconnect it.
myself
Yeah.
from the idea that it was going to be like the book.
Okay.
Because it's really not at all. Like the characters are, and then the kind of like the very broad, subject is like the book, but everything else, the completely different plot lines, completely
wow.
different storylines. They changed like the core
So
of
it's
some
the
of the main
universe,
characters,
but it's not the.
as well. Yeah. So it's interesting, but I thought it was a beautiful show. Like the way that it was done was really, really beautiful. And some of the episodes that can kind of stand alone were great. There were a couple of episodes that were really great on their own, separate from kind of everything else. But yeah,
Interesting.
I like the book better. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, mine's book talk too.
Okay.
All right. So mine is, I just read a book called The Golden Spoon. And it's very much like, it's kind of like the Great British Baking Show meets Clue.
Ooh.
Oh.
That seems cozy.
I thought it'd be cozy. It's not a cozy mystery though. So it doesn't have like, Clue is a hard one only because it's just like, it happens in one singular place and there's multiple elements. The story is told from different perspectives. But as you move through the book, it's just unraveling this mystery. But it's not like necessarily campy or in the way that Clue is. It's just a mystery.
Okay.
And they do this mystery fairly straightforward, but it's good and it unravels in a very interesting way. It does have the cozy elements of the baking show thing happening, which is interesting. But it's exactly that. So just imagine, it's hard not to put like Paul Hollywood and
Mary
Berry as your main characters. I mean, it's literally that. So I thought it was enjoyable. Not the best book I've read this year, but it was really enjoyable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I just started last night a show, and God, I can't remember what it's on. I want to say it's on Max. It's called Telemarketers. It's a 3-part docuseries about a company called CDG that like the police would hire to fundraise for them.
Okay.
It is fucking fascinating so far.
Wow.
It is a wild ride. It's really, really good so far. So I'll keep you updated on that when I finish it. But yeah.
Have you ever gotten one of those calls?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
Well, what do they say?
They're
When
like,
they call you?
They're like, oh, we're from, because here's the thing. They've been like, busted for fraud like a whole bunch of times. So they changed their name so that they're like the company, the fundraising company that's been hired by the police calls themselves the New Albany Fraternal Order of Police.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, I'm just going to ask the question. Do the police need more money? I feel like we've given them a lot of money.
They get a lot of money, but
they have tanks.
They're like, these go to help like buy bulletproof vests for the officers, or this goes to fallen officer
They give
fund.
you so many taxes.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And they're like, they said that they're like, oh, 100% is going to go to the Fraternal Order of Police. But it's like, it does, because that's the name of this fundraising company. So yes, 100% is going to, it's just like a fucking money grab. It's a total fucking scam.
Wow.
And it's brought down by the inside. This lead guy is like, apparently this organization is just like hiring like ex-convicts and like fucking, it's like a party. Like they go in and somebody had brought a camcorder in and they're just doing wild fucking shit, making
They're
these
making
calls.
It rain
What in
while
the
they're on
Wolf
the
of
phone.
Wall Street?
Yeah,
It really
exactly.
is.
That's what I was
Oh
thinking
my
too.
God.
Just like
And
bills on bills.
happening in New Jersey, so it's
So
just
okay, so none of the money is going to police. It's all just like
so far in the
that's their
first
cover.
episode. That's their cover. It's going
Holy
to like
shit.
I see.
these two sets of brothers.
Oh my God.
what?
Yeah, it's wild.
You guys, we're just living the
we're
wrong
not doing
kind
it
of
right.
life.
I know.
We're doing this wrong. All right, let's
I'm gonna start, guys. Come over later. We're gonna make some phone calls.
We're gonna
No, it's all good.
100% goes to
LLC.
Oh my God. Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have more of those bad date stories, which thank you for all the people that wrote in this week, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.